This is verse 12 of the fourth chapter of the Gospel of Matthew. We've just completed a discussion of the temptation of Jesus. Finally, Satan has abandoned Christ, at least for a time. Angels have come and ministered to him, we hear in the last verse. And then we have ongoing narrative here, akousos, from akouo, I hear. This is the aorist active participle, masculine singular nominative, so it's referring to the subject of the sentence, which is Christ himself. So having heard, aorist participles, referring to events that take place in advance of the time of the leading verb. So having heard, postpositive de, but having heard hoti, the conjunction that. Iones, referring to John the Baptist. This is John. Having heard that John paradothe, from paradidomi, means to hand over, to deliver over, often used in connection with being delivered over to some kind of confinement. It's also used to mean betray. So when Judas betrayed Jesus, that's the same word that's used. And so in this case, Jesus, having heard that John had been delivered over, and the idea would be delivered over, of course, into prison, then anakoresen. This is from anakoreo. Ana means up, and the koreo has to do with going away. It's a favorite term of Matthew. The other gospel writers don't use it much. Matthew uses it 10 times in his gospel. Usually it conveys the idea of going somewhere with a purpose, that there's some reason that he's going away. And so this rather unusual word is used by Matthew generally to convey that idea, which is certainly the case here. Having heard that John, having delivered, or he went away, is the idea, third person singular, aorist, active indicative of this contract verb. Went away, ace, preposition with the accusative tain, Galileon, into the Galilee. And so the impression we get from Matthew's version is that this takes place immediately after the temptation, but actually John tells us that John and that is, John the Gospel writer tells us that John the Baptist had been baptizing at the same time as Jesus for some period of time, and that it was only after John was eventually arrested that Jesus went away. So we don't have that information from Matthew here, but we learn from other sources that there was a concurrent ministry for a time. But in any event, when John is arrested, then Jesus goes away into Galilee.